Hey, this is Patrick with the Coffin Report for this week. The full iteration is available to members of True North only, but this is a teaser if you're watching on YouTube or elsewhere on the interwebs. I do 3 stories each week, and the first one I cover is it's a GAY world. What's happening at this parish in New York? It's been in operation for decades with the full approval and blessing of Cardinal Timothy Dolan. It's called St. Paul's. It's run by the Paulists, which are, next to the Jesuits and the Franciscans, the most lavender order in the Catholic Church. They're a homegrown American order founded by Isaac Hecker and others. They are notorious for peace and justice, boomer, post-Vatican II version of Catholicism, and an openly GHEY ABC anchor guy. I don't watch ABC. I have long drifted away from legacy media. But it's a man who thinks he's married to another man, and he became Catholic. He was brought into the church, and he's blessed with the laying on of hands by none other than James Martin, S.J., the highest profile lavender salesman in the world, who only weeks ago received a very friendly photo op with Leo XIV in Rome. He reported that Leo XIV was a big supporter of his and that he's going to continue the legacy of Francis. So he's assuring us that it's Francis 2.0. Remember, this is the same clique that walked through the holy doors of St. Peter's Basilica last month with short shorts and man-on-man kissing and rainbow shirts and backpacks that said, F-U-C-K the rules. Not a word from Leo. This is the kind of thing that makes Catholics not just scratch their heads, but angry over the lack of response and why these are allowed to continue. Almost like they're mocking ordinary Orthodox Catholics who don't have an agenda, who aren't politically involved, who don't have an axe to grind. They just want to love Jesus Christ and make him better loved. And then they see this. The quote that made me smile is, "I found the Ark of the Covenant in my heart, stored there by the one who created me exactly as I am." I don't know if that's a reference to his boyfriend or to the Catholic faith that he's now embracing or what, but why is this all over the news? Why are we even allowed to see this? I'm glad we do, because hopefully people can contact Cardinal Dolan, who puts out these hyper-pious notes, videos on Twitter, and it gets ratioed. He gets massacred by the comments. Maybe you might ask him about this openly GHEY man so proudly getting his blessing from the Paulists there at, it's called Out, I think it's Out in New York, Out in NYC, rainbow flags everywhere. Full validation by Cardinal Dolan, not a word from the Vatican. How can this be all over the American internet and Leo, who's American, can't know about it? I don't expect there's going to be any kind of response, which means Catholics, you are on your own. Story number 2. Which media do you trust? In a world of AI and high concentrate levels of deception, when you go on a social media platform or a news forum or whatever the news source is, these are the kind of metrics I look for as far as trustworthiness goes. Nowadays, I'm sorry, I don't trust any video. Call me cray-cray, I do not trust video. It's so easy to replicate using AI and all kinds of deepfake techniques. So if someone says, oh, watch this video, and often the lip syncing is off or something looks weird or there's 6 fingers, what have you, there are some tells that indicate you're watching AI. But this is the ground softening for more and more deceptions to come. So the criteria that I use is, does the person post in their own name? If I get a clip from someone, oh, look at this, look what happened behind Charlie Kirk, look over the shoulder, and it's an anonymous account, I just delete the account. I don't even engage. If you can't write and report under your own name, that means you are accountophobic. Stand up and be counted, ladies and gentlemen. Write in your real name. Put yourself out in the open, like I do, like other people do who are reporting on this, that, and the other. Don't publish anonymously. It's bad psychologically for you, and it's terrible for the ecosystem of social media, because you can say anything and no one can trace it back to a human being. So you have these 22-year-old incels in mom's basement saying whatever they want, coming off like John Wayne, often with pompous Latin handles. So that's criteria number 1. Do you post in your real name? Number two, who's their employer? Is it ABC News? Is it MSNBC? Any of the alphabet soup legacy media? Because any reporting that comes from them is going to have a very narrow and obvious focus and bias. If it's an apostolate, can you find information about who the donors are? Are they funded by a grant from a foundation? What's the agenda of that foundation? Do they have big advertisers that might apply pressure? On the Patrick Coffin show, I don't have advertisers. I don't have any corporate sponsorship. I am paid a grand total of 0 from any foreign government. I have my light, my camera, my action, my laptop, a skeleton crew, and I just try to instruct people to let their hair down and tell the truth. You are a juror in a trial. You are not the prosecutor, you're not the defense, you're not the judge, you're not the bailiff, you're not the peanut gallery, you're not the janitor. You are a juror, and you are always being presented with evidence. You have to filter that evidence. This is why the founder of the Jesuits, one of the greatest saints in the Catholic Church, Saint Ignatius of Loyola, said, the spiritual life and discerning spirits comes down to a threefold action. Be aware, understand, act. Awareness, understanding, action. You have to take a stand based on the evidence that you see. You might be wrong, as I'm sometimes wrong. It's one of the blessings of being a Catholic, you get to be corrected. But that's different from openly deceiving. That's where people get into trouble. So follow the money. If you can find out who sponsors media people, even independent influencers, often they're not. They're tied to other agendae that they don't disclose up front. So research on your own. But I think it's very important to be a critical consumer of media, no matter what it comes from. And don't take my word for it. I always instruct people, don't listen to my opinion. It doesn't matter what the issue is. I will point you, if I can, to the correct sources. You have to do your own research. So, super important. In an age of AI and deepfake and insta-punditry, it's very important to view everything through that lens of critical skepticism. It's healthy for the truth, and it's healthy for the ecosystem, so we can all operate in the same playing field of wanting ideas to clash and not have censorship, not shut down conversations with bad words like sedevacantist, benevacantist, anti-Semite, Islamophobe, homophobe. These are devil terms designed to drown facts, debate, and uncomfortable conversations. And story number 3. Is Charlie Kirk alive? I did a video based on an announcement that Candace Owens made a few weeks ago that Charlie Kirk received a Catholic Mass and funeral and is buried in a Catholic cemetery. Now, his home base, adopted from Illinois, was Phoenix, Arizona. So I've done some deep sleuthing in the following. If you go to the initial mortuary in Orem, I forget the name of it, doesn't matter, because they send you to the funeral arrangements. And what is that? It's the September 21st Trump rally. Oops, I mean Charlie Kirk Memorial. I was there. I was in the stadium. One of the strangest things of my life. That was not a funeral. But then in the fine print it says, the body was handled, or the remains were processed by Hansen Mortuaries in Phoenix. So I picked the phone up and call Hansen. Immediately, lady on the phone shuts me down. Yeah, we don't give out information like that. And I said, I'm not looking for location of grave, nothing personal. Just can you confirm what's all over the internet as far as the evidence trail of what happened to Charlie's body after it left the UVU campus? No, we're not going to give that information. Can you tell me why or who's telling you to be mum on the subject? No, you have a good day, sir. Okay, so much for Hansen. So I called the Diocese of Phoenix. Same thing, run around. Yeah, we don't have that information. I called the cemetery system, for lack of a better phrase, that's attached to the Diocese of Phoenix. You can see it in the website. And they handle burials and vital stats to do with the funeral schedule. No, we have no one there by that name. I cannot find any proof from the Diocese of Phoenix, including calling St. Bernadette's Parish, which is the parish in Scottsdale where Charlie and Erica were going to Mass. And Erica has been seen, minus the 2 kids, going to Sunday Mass since September 10th. I asked the parish secretary, I said to her, I'm not asking for the location of the grave. I'm not trying to intrude on private family matters. I'm not trying to foment anything. I just want to verify the yes or no question of, can you confirm that he received a Catholic funeral mass, which is ordinarily a public event. There was one rumor that Bishop John Dolan celebrated the mass. I can't find any information. She said, no, sir, we can neither confirm nor deny. And I said, I'm a fellow Catholic. This is a very high profile case. And even the fact of him getting a funeral can't be confirmed nor denied? Yes, that's correct. The exact same runaround. So every door that I've opened has opened onto a brick wall. I'm not saying I know what that means. I'm saying this. There's no documentary evidence that Charlie Kirk is dead. We are getting a hard sell that he died. If you read Jack Posobiec and Andrew Colvett and Mikey McCoy and who's the list? David J. Harris, and it's all the TPUSA Zio people, evangelicals, dispensationalists, Rob McCoy, all the C-level decision makers at TPUSA. They all tell us all day and all night that we lost a great man, that he's dead, he was assassinated. We have the man, it's a leftist named Tyler Robinson. That Tyler Robinson is another topic for another day. If you can tell me what the documentary evidence is, now I realize that a death certificate is a private family matter. I'm not trying to intrude, not trying to direct people to go and do anything, not even visit his grave. Although I do think the concern over vandalism is a little overstated. The graves of Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., other figures which were much more divisive and much more involved in violent secondary activities, their graves have not been vandalized. And with TPUSA bringing in $90 million a year, couldn't they hire security? At least for a few months until things die down? Over time, we're going to forget all this anyway. But for now, there is no proof that Charlie Kirk is dead. Please tell me where I'm going wrong. I would legit love to hear your comments in the comment section. And inside the True North movement, we're going to have lots of conversations about documentary evidence. Not hearsay, not so-and-so says, not, oh, Bob from the parish told me and I trust him. No, that's not the same thing as evidence, otherwise known as receipts. This is the Coffin Report. I'm Patrick Coffin. See you next week.